And welcome back to another edition of the YodelCast. I am DocLettuce, and with me is Freelii. We have Map 2 between Team Egocentric and Team Vex. Map 1 was an unfortunate turtle fest on Rain Dance that resulted in a 2-0 win for Team Vex, and we are now moving on to Crossfire. Just to go down the rundown of the rosters real quick. For Diamond Sword, we have had a little bit of a swap. That is Egocentric. They are now using Canuck, Fesk, David Bowie, Adip, Xanther, Sweetness, and Ibn. And for Team Vex, we have the Jester, Window, Sharkax, Khan, Mike Powell, Thomas R, and Fury 1. So, Freelii, hoping this map's going to be a little bit better or more interesting?
Well, hopefully. There's not as much opportunity to camp. There is that one room on the top, but it's so easy to clear out just because you don't have the ability to barrage it like you do on Rain Dance. But Egocentric does need to pick their game up because they did not play well last time after letting Sharkax get away with first that easy one, and then they got completely distracted by the offense.
Looking over the rosters real quick, it looks like they're running a two Sentinel team on Egocentric, and we're having they're countering with one Sentinel on the other side. Xanther and Canuck are both fairly decent snipers. I'd rate Canuck a little bit higher, but two snipers, I didn't think that was allowed, and we see here now they're actually just questioning it. That's very bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen any sort of competition rules with two snipers.
Never mind.
Yeah, they still do. Well, that should be interesting. So yeah, that's the defense. They're running 4 defense. They do have a heavy on flag. It is going to be Sweetness, 2 Sentinels, and Fesk, who's in Soldier. So that's going to be a very tough defense to crack. I would actually probably start expecting a little bit of punting strategy because I don't see a basic capper getting away with that anytime soon, unless they're going to start capping in some sort of medium.
Well, look at Sharkax here. He's actually in Raider now, which I've seen used before for punting, so I guess we'll see if he can pull that off.
Yeah, I was just noticing that as well. Let's take a look at him. He is just going in there for the distract. They do have a Pathfinder still. It is Thomas R, though, and I believe he is on defense for nitroning and chasing purposes, but this is not exactly a good start in terms of the high energy game we were hoping for, but we'll see. I got my hopes. David Bowie there with a little bit of a grab. Got nowhere. Just got mauled by the defense here. Let's see what they're running. We've got the Sniper running actually a phase rifle. We have the Jester running a Soldier. And otherwise, Thomas R obviously with the Pathfinder there for the Nitrons. So they're running a 3 defensive team. And you see Adip here actually coming in with a Raider. Yeah, they're definitely going the punting strategy now. He's grabbing it. Instantly punts it. That was, in my opinion, a horrible idea. But, you know, whatever floats his boat. Both teams are now running the punt strategy there. David Bowie did manage to pick up the punted flag for Team Egocentric. It is going to be returned here by Thomas R. Both flags do get returned. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch both of them because, well, I've only got one camera.
I think Thomas R made a mistake there. I thought he had a chance to change momentum and pick up the punt, which I think would have been the better option. But it is what it is.
I must say, I'm kind of disappointed that both teams are going to the punt strategy so quickly. I would have liked to see a little bit more maybe distracting and then capping, or at least cap attempts going on. It is hard to get away from the snipers, but it's not impossible. But, you know, punting can at least make for a lot of interesting, fun little grabs, and people are trying things. But what I don't like seeing is, if you're going to run the punt strategy, run the punt strategy. Stop trying to send someone in there to get the grab. I just saw David Bowie there. Did try and go for a little bit of a grab. And he's running a Pathfinder, or he was. Yeah, he still is running a Pathfinder. And it's unlikely he's going to be able to get to the flag, you know? And get a punt off. So why bother? Just say, okay, we're going to run the punt strategy. And then run it. And ignore your capper.
Well, not only that, but they didn't even have the midfield at that point. There's basically no one there to punt it to in the first place, so we need some more timing, I think, on the part of Egocentric. Actually, if you look at Vex's offense here, they're actually up 4 people. There's the grab, they're putting it away to Sharkax, no, so going over him, and Ibn midair returns it. That's a shame.
Yeah, I think they need to, the team that really is, I guess you could say, gonna go for the strategy the best, they need to make sure they own the midfield. And you can see here, David Bowie, once again, punted a little bit early in my opinion, but it was an okay punt. But really, no one was that ready to pick it up. You see, there were 2 players there from Egocentric ready to grab the flag, but they both missed it. And then Vex just came swooping in, and I wouldn't say save the day, but they managed to get an easy return off. So, they're both running it, but it's not running it well, I must say. They seem sort of disorganized. It's like they're practicing it rather than actually trying it. We see there's another punt going on there. David Bowie's there to pick it up. He does pick it up. He misses his punt. He got shot, actually, killed by Thomasar. The reason they're able to run 2 snipers right now, just as a quick update, is because of the rules of the upcoming tournament, which has no class limits. So they're clearly practicing for that. And apparently they're going to be using 2 snipers. So, you know, I personally hate that, and the fact that they can do that, but hey, that's what the tournament is, and they need to practice what they're going to use, so that's alright. And we actually saw David Bowie there. Does look like he might be coming in for another back-to-front route. It's interesting that they're really even trying to do routes. It seems like it's taken up a lot more time than it needs to, because all that he's going to do as soon as he grabs it is punt it anyway, so...
Actually, look at the guys here. They don't even know he's there. So he's going to actually get away with that. He's away with full health right now. Sniper's on him. He misses the punt. And that, I don't think Ibn might actually get it in here. Time for everyone is not moving all that fast. He's going to pick it up. And, yeah, still about 70% health. He's going over the hill now. Sniper's missing. This may actually be a cap unless Mike Powell could come in for the E-grab. There's nobody en route. He's going up, and that's it.
And Sharkax there was coming in. He probably might have actually told him, he might have waved off the E-grab, unfortunately, which was a mistake. We see a lot of snipes and knives coming in there, all of them missing, so Sharkax is actually going to get out. He's probably actually going to end up tying this up, and that's what we mean. You know, one good capper or one good grab, and you're back, you know, tying this game up, and here we go. There's the 1-to-1, simple as that. The punting is very sloppy right now, I must say. I mean, they did manage to get the cap out of that, but that's really more out of the defense from Vex not really catching up to the punt, rather than them executing the punt strategy well, I guess you could say.
Yeah, poor Fury 1 just kind of bounced off that first hill wrong, and that killed all his speed, and the midfield wasn't there either to chase him. And of course, the snipers, you gotta hit. You really gotta hit.
Yeah, that was very bizarre, I must say. That was a good attempt there, though, by Vex. I like them. I like that they're still running the capper. It's good to see. We see Sharkax is coming in there again, trying to do the same thing, but there is, like, way too many people. Oh, there were a lot of people waiting for him. He actually managed to get the grab off, and he would have had a really good punt, but he missed it, which somewhat seems to be a bit of a recurring theme right now. There's a lot of missed punts going on there that probably shouldn't be missed. We see here Idip picking it up, and there's the punt. I didn't get to see if he made it, but it didn't go very far, so Ibn
yeah, he
is
made it.
picking it up.
But now there's too many guys on him.
Dies down to Thomasar, and no one else is there to support him. And there's a quick return. They need to send some more people to the midfield, I think, because right now it's just they're relying on one person to make the grab. They're not really getting the grab smoothly, and it's turning into a little bit of a problem because they're really not going to get away like this. You know, they need to be able to get those punts, and, you know, it is only 1-to-1. It did work for them once, but it took them, like, 7 minutes to get it to work. And in the meantime, the other guys just simply got a grab off and got a quick cap off of it. So send more people into the midfield. You're not having problems on defense, and make sure you get those punts home and you get someone there to pick them up. We're watching Bowie now actually going in there. He's being sniped by the phase rifle. Down to 200 people waiting for him. Bye, Bowie. And, oh, here we go. Sharkax in here coming in for a route. Looks like he might have... He's going on an interesting version of this route, but hey, they don't really seem to know... Oh, they do notice him. Xanther noticed him. But he has barely taken any damage. Does finally get taken up by a little bit of the defense there. And by a little bit, I mean the unnecessarily large amount of defense there for Team Egocentric. Really like to see them own the midfield.
Oh man, it looks like Dave Bowie failed to punt there. He did have 2 midfielders already, but I think he tried to punt a little bit too early and ended up killing himself.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shame. This map really has potential for a lot of fast action, but we're just not seeing it from these two teams, and I think it's mostly just because of they don't seem to have a specific game plan in mind. I mean, they're sort of going for it, but, like, we see Sharkax there did just manage to get a good grab off. He is coming down there in the midfield. He's got about 600 health left. All the snipes and knives are missing. There comes a lot of stuff in there. He just goes for the basic toss, doesn't go for the punt, which is a really interesting decision. They should be able to pick this up before the chasers come in. There we go. Thomasar does manage to get it. David Bowie was going for the return instead of the E-grab. That was a mistake. He could have easily gotten the E-grab off in time, but instead he decided to go for the return, and it cost his team. So it's now 2-1 in favor of Vex.
Yeah, I think that Shark Attack's toss was a little bit of a mistake on Vex's part, and Egocentric just did not capitalize on it at all.
Yeah, I really feel like they could have punted that, and it actually probably would have reached the stand, but, you know, the simple toss, you know, worked out in the end, I guess, but it's a little bit of a shame. I mean, that's one of the points I was touching on before the grab happened, is that both teams, they sort of feel like they know what they're doing, but they're not executing it, even remotely. Look at this. David Bowie's coming in there. The only person clearing was himself. And he's getting away now, but in principle, he really shouldn't be. There comes a snipe, and he's down to about 330 health. He's going about 200, and there's really no one here to escort him. There's some chain gun fire coming in there. He's down to about 200, but he is going to make it home. Oh, down to 17 health. One more snipe will take him out, but no, he does manage to get the tying cap off there. See, Shark Hacks did go in there for the E, and that was a lot better than trying to go for, like, a last-minute kill. And if he was, like, half a second faster, he would have had it as well. But they're setting in the cappers, and there's no clearing. And then they're doing the punting strategy, but there's not really anyone in the midfield. I can't tell what it is they're trying to do. I honestly don't know. These teams, they feel so jumbled up in terms of their strategy right now.
It does feel like there's a serious lack of communication going on. Looks like David Bowie's on the same route, but he gets stopped that time. I'm actually amazed he got away, because Vex is the one that's running two snipers, and he even jumped off that one hill out to the side there and gave him some straight up to the sky, which is a perfect opportunity to snipers to finish him off, and they didn't. They lost the cap.
It's actually Egocentric that's running the two snipers, but that's okay.
It's really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they did manage, in the meantime, Ego did manage to get a grab off. They punted it to the midfield. It was picked up by David Bowie and then re-punted back. Adip has picked it up. Vex did manage to get a grab off, but it quickly got, the carrier got killed and then it was returned. Adip is tossing it up there, tosses it over. Sharkax comes in there for the E, misses the punt. Recurring theme of the night, and there's the return in the quick 3-2 cap. These missed punts are really starting to cost these teams, and you can see that. That was a perfect example there. Window does manage to get it, makes the punt, but once there's no one there. It's all Egocentric there in the front of their base. They needed someone else there, or he could have kept flying a little bit longer before punting, but that missed punt by Shark Hacks really cost his team, because if he'd punted it correctly, I think they had a couple people that were there, but he just didn't go far enough because he missed the shot, and so they got the return in the quick 3-2 cap.
Yep. Actually, look at the midfield now. Egocentric had it there for a second, but they don't have anybody on a route to actually take advantage of it. Again, I think it's just miscommunication, bad timing. Although David Bowie is coming in here from the back, but Thomasar is on him. He's still at full health. He's coming in through the back, and the medium on the flag doesn't see him. He's away with the flag. I think he should keep going. That was a missed punt and a blown chance.
Honestly, I feel like they've been missing more punts than they've been making, and that's really not what you want to see if you're a fan of either of the teams, because that's just. I like I don't mind the punting strategy. I think it it's got its place. It can work. They had it set up ready for that, but you gotta make those punts. Punting is really not that hard if you know the basic rules to stick to, I feel. And I'm really kind of surprised that they're trying to run this strategy without having practiced punting all that much. Because they really have missed a lot of punts, and we've seen at least one of them has cost a team a cap.
Looks like Shark Tax here is actually going to try one of the back routes again. He's just regenerated full health, and he's swinging over the base. I don't think he's going to make it, though, unless he's going to take too much damage there.
Yeah, he didn't have the speed there to actually make it over the base, and so he landed and then just tried to do a llama and a punt. But you see, that was such a bad idea. Why would you punt that early? Like, I understand you're trapped under their base, and you know they're going to be coming after you, but he had full health. Window had full health. Why not walk forward, jet a little more, get yourself some air, bring it closer, because Thomasar and Fury 1 were coming. They just needed some more time. But because he punted it so early, it flew right into Ibn, and it was a whole wasted little strategy.
Yep. Actually, it looks like Vex has got the midfield up here. Mike Powell's kind of chaining down 2 guys in the middle there. And Sharkax is coming over in time. This might be a good opportunity for them. Looks like he's got the speed, and he's going to come over the edge there. Sweetness, I don't think saw him, but it does get returned right away. I guess what was that, a mine?
I honestly didn't see. I was watching the other side because David Bowie was also going in there for a route. He was going very slow, but it was a route nonetheless. And unfortunately, they had no clearing, so he just got mauled at the stand. He tried to evade them, but there was no chance it was happening. I don't get why they're running this capper, honestly, if they're not going to help him with distraction. They're so... You know, you can change it up a little bit, but you need some distraction to actually do something. And there you go. They had a little bit of distraction, and he did get out with full health. He's going about 200. The sniper is... There we go. Finally gets a shot off. Down to about 150 health. Some good snipes coming in there. One more snipe, and he should probably go down. But no more snipes coming in there. Looks like the sniper... There we go. The sniper was distracted or did go down, but finally managed to get that final snipe off. Did take him out, and the flag is bouncing horribly, giving them tons of time to try and do something, but I don't see anyone incoming. There's no one in here to chase. Fesk picks it up, tosses it off back to Bowie because he's in a Pathfinder. He's going to get up easier. They need to get an E-grab off there. Tomasar's coming in there to try and... don't like that. Once again, they sent someone in there, and he tried to go for the return and the kill rather than just the E-grab and get the flag off the stand. Fury won in there, though, with a really fast grab. That was a back-to-front Shrike cap. And boom. Wow. That's interesting, and now the score is 4-3. So in a little bit of an instance there, the Shrike cap is incredibly powerful. Sharkax did pick it up there and was going to go for the punt, but did get dropped immediately and returned. And on the other side, we did have another pickup there for Team Egocentric, and that just went down and returned as well. So that Shrike cap, I like that. Bringing a little bit of spice into the game.
It was a great turnaround. I was actually watching Fury when I noticed he was in the Shrike. I was about to comment furiously that he was not going for the return, which I think he had an opportunity to do. But he did actually, I think, in the end, possibly make the right choice in holding off and then going for that, like, 5-second Shrike cap.
I agree, because there was no guarantee he was going to get the return. But in this instance with the Shrike grab, if you get that Shrike grab off, which they knew they were going to because they had people going in there and Thomas Saar was there, he was able to at least clear the flag a little bit. As we just saw a really quick grab there by Adip, and it just got dropped in the field. I assume a failed punt. But going back to that Shrike grab, so they basically knew the flag stand was clear, and so unless they messed up the Shrike grab by either jumping out too late, jumping out too early, or just hitting something, he was going to get home, because when you're going home on back to front at 300 kilometers an hour, you're getting home pretty quick. And Sharkax there did manage to get a grab off. What about good speed, 250, but he's down to about 270 health. They still are running 2 snipers, so I'm really surprised that he's not dead yet. There we go. Sweetness actually moving into the sniping position now that Xanther was in the Shrike. They have 3 Sentinels. My bad. They have 3 Sentinels. That is unbelievable. Fury wanted a really nice grab off the bounce. Does go down, but manages to toss it off a little bit. Sharkax is going to be able to pick it up there. Fesk is saving it for Egocentric right now. Did get the grab off. There's a little bit of a punt attempt there. Not really to anyone. And Sharkax picks up his own flag. Tosses it up there. He's trying to get up to the stand. It's not really going to work. There's no real distraction coming in there, so we're going to go watch Fesk. He's got Mike Powell on him. He does chain him down. Ibn is escorting him, as is Adip Sweetness and now Canuck. Tomasar's coming in there, but he's got no health, and he's all alone. He does manage to kill him, but there was no chance he was getting the return. He had no health. One shot from any of those 4 guys, and he was going to go down. So we're going to take a look at the other flag real quick. Not really anything going on here. Sharkax does pick it up easily. He does get sniped by Canuck. And Tomasar picks it up. Not really any chasers, but the problem is, well, Sweetness has changed back to Soldier, so it's just down to 2 Sentinels, but still 2 Sentinels is something you've always got to keep an eye out. So we will have our first standoff of this matchup, and we do see the flag down here, actually. Egocentric's flag is on the field. It does get picked up by the technician here, Khan, who swapped away from Sniper. He does toss it off. I don't know why. Why would you toss it off there? And Fury 1 does manage to pick it up. It was almost returned, so it's a good thing. Good thing they managed to chain that guy down, because that wasn't going to go well. There's an infiltrator hiding here. This should be very interesting to see if he manages to do anything special with it. Maybe a sonic punching coming here. Nope, the infiltrator's just going to run away for now. So we are going to have Team Vex setting up on top of their ship. Fury 1's hanging on to it for now. There we go, Sonic Punch return. Great job by the Infiltrator. That's the type of fun little play they're looking for. Great grab there by Window there just to save first team a little bit, but he's buying him a little bit of time. Not enough. It was instantly returned. I guess they had someone on the ground or something of that sort.
They did.
That Infiltrator there, that was the key. That was a nice play there. I really like to see that. You know, a nice little Sonic Punch hidden there. They weren't really expecting it. And, you know, it was highly amusing.
It was, and I give credit to Egocentric. That win there was that last little burst of cohesiveness when they actually had 4 or 5 people go after the flag, so that Vex couldn't cap it. They escorted it all the way back to the base. They protected it, and they got away with that 5th gap. And it was a brilliant bit of teamwork in a game that did not have much teamwork.
Yeah, overall it was a fairly disappointing show of, or I guess you could say lack of skill, I guess, from the punting standpoint, because a lot of punts were failed. Let's not, you know, hold back any words. They made a lot of mistakes in that game, but at least towards the end it got a lot more interesting. You know, when the teams finally decided on their strategies, we saw a fun little Shrike cap come in. My apologies there. We saw a little bit better punting, a little bit more team coordination, a couple good grabs coming off, and finally, you know, it just simply heated up a little bit more at the end. It got a little bit more interesting. There was a lot more to talk about. Towards the beginning, it was all failed punt, failed punt, failed punt. So I'm really pleased to see that the teams picked it up towards the end. And that resulted in a 5-3 score there for Team Egocentric on Crossfire. That was map 2. So the series is currently tied 1-1. As you can currently see, we will be moving on to Catabatic. So thank you all for watching. I have been DocLettuce, and I still am. And with me was Freelii, and we should see you back here in a bit for map 3 on Catabatic.